Hey there, sorry again. Anyways, I showed you my graduation medal and my cords already. The National Society of High School Scholars, I couldn't believe I was being a part of it. And, well, my parents were so proud of me when they heard about it. I was proud of myself, basically, but I was mostly very proud of my teachers that helped me get to where I want to be. And when I graduate, I will probably want to say a lot of things about my family, my friends, and teachers. But one day, there was just a question that was going on through my head. It said, Megan, who has made the biggest impact in your life? And I just thought to myself, and I answered, the person that made the biggest impact on my life is Dr. Stephens, the principal at my school. And let me tell you something. Dr. Stephens, he's just one incredible guy. He's amazing, and I'm glad he's the principal at my school. He's always looking out for others, looking out for kids, making sure they don't get hurt, making sure they're on the right track, but mostly important to make sure that I'm on the right track. Now, I remembered this. I was just getting ready to prepare for a spelling test, which was Friday. And a student aide came in Mrs. Bell's classroom, and then Mrs. Bell said, Megan? And I looked up, and I said, yes, Mrs. Bell? The principal would like to go see you. I'm like, okay. And so I just went down there, and I told his secretary, Mrs. Katz, that I was here to see him. And then she's like, okay, well, why don't you have a seat down on the couch, and I'll tell Dr. Stephens that you're here. And I heard her page over the radio, Dr. Stephens, the student that you requested is here, and is there anything else? And then Dr. Stephens said, okay, I'm on my way. And so when Dr. Stephens came to the office, he told me to come into his office. I said, okay. And he asked, and he said to me before, thank you for the wonderful letter. I really appreciate it. And he asked, do you know Mrs. Dufresne? I said, of course I know Mrs. Dufresne. She was the teacher back in Mulaski. And he said, well, she's my wife's best friend. Really? He said, yep. And he said to me, you know, Mrs. Dufresne was emailing me saying that you were going to come to the school, so she told me to keep an eye out for you. And I'm like, you were keeping an eye out for me? I didn't even know you were going to keep an eye out for me. He's like, well, I just had to keep an eye out for you. And so, after that talk that we had, he gave me a little gift, Pirates of the Caribbean 3 DVD, which I thanked him so much for that. And Dr. Stephens said, okay, you take care, Megan, and I will see you soon. I said, okay, see ya. And so, I thought to myself that day that Dr. Stephens has made a huge, huge impact in my life. And you know what? He did. He looked out for me. Mostly important to me, mostly, he's my idol. Now, the reason why Dr. Stephens is my idol is because He's always there when I need someone to talk to. He's the greatest principal at Desert Pines, which I cannot tell you how much I love to come to school just to say hello to Dr. Stephens, and the gleam he puts in my eyes, and the smile he puts on his face, and the smile I put on my face. It's like that I have a really special, connection with him. And I just practiced over and over again. And you know what? I think Dr. Stephens is the most special and important person I basically ever met. Now, when I first came to Desert Pines, I was a little shy. I was a little nervous about being a freshman. But when I saw Dr. Stephens, I kind of waved hello to him, and he waved back. So, basically, Dr. Stephens is one of the most greatest, coolest, but mostly heart-touching principal I've ever had at Desert Pines High School. And Dr. Stephens, if you're at home listening, or just doing regular stuff on the computer, I want to say thank you for being the principal at our school, and you keep up the good work. And another thing, Dr. Stephens, I wouldn't be where I am. I'm just glad that you looked out for me when Mrs. Dufresne said that you had to. I'm glad you did. Thank you, Dr. Stephens, for being the principal at our school. And I'll probably see you sometime again when I come back as a junior, and I will be asking for your help on how I can be on track to graduate, because there are too many kids. They probably want me to do stupid stuff. But hopefully I hope that you can help. Talk to you soon. Bye.